You have a mental tool that you use every single day, probably without even thinking about it. It's how you can tell a friend is upset just by the way they're standing. It's how you figure out the twist in a movie before the big reveal. It's how we read the world. Okay, let's try a quick one. Picture this. You walk into a house. You see muddy footprints by the door. A backpack is just dropped in the middle of the hallway. The fridge door is open. So, what just happened? I bet you're already putting it together, right? Someone, probably a kid, just got home, ditched their bag, and made a beeline for a snack. See? That little mental process, that connecting of the dots, that's it. That's the skill. You used what you could see to figure out what you couldn't see. You just read between the lines of that whole scene. So let's lean into that. Let's put on our detective hats for a second. Because the skill you just used, it's the #1 tool for any great detective. I think it's time we finally gave this superpower a name. And here it is. It's called inference. Put simply, it's just the conclusion that you reach based on clues and what you already know from your own life. You're mixing the evidence right in front of you with your own experience to uncover the story that's hiding just under the surface. Now, to get really good at this, to be a sharp detective, you've got to know the lingo. So let's quickly break down a few key words that make all of this inference stuff possible. Okay, every detective needs to have these down. A clue, that just points to something bigger. Evidence is what actually proves it. An observation is simple, it's just a fact you can see. But here's the one you have to watch out for, an assumption. That's when you believe something is true without any evidence. A great detective never assumes, they observe. All right, you ready for a little training exercise? Let's practice telling the difference between a straight-up observation, a fact, and the conclusion we draw from it, which is the inference. Okay, here's the first statement. The ground is wet. So what do you think, fact or inference? Well, that one's a fact. Why? Because you can go outside, you can see it, you can touch it, you can verify it directly. It is a pure observation. Okay, now how about this next part? It must have rained last night. And that is your inference. You're using the fact, the wet ground, to make a leap about why it's wet. But think about it. Maybe it rained, or maybe the sprinklers were on, or maybe your neighbor was washing their car. The conclusion is an inference. It's not a guaranteed fact. Let's do one more. Here are our observable facts, our clues. He is smiling and whistling. And from those clues, we infer this. He's in a good mood today. I mean, you can't actually see a mood, right? It's not a physical thing, but you can absolutely infer it from the evidence. That's the detective work our brains are doing all day long. Okay, so inference helps us see what's unseen in our everyday lives. But this is where our explainer takes a really interesting turn. The source material for all this, which is actually a lesson plan, argues that this exact same skill is the key to understanding something much, much deeper, a spiritual idea. This is the key verse from that lesson plan. It defines faith as the evidence of things not seen. Now, did you catch that word? Evidence? That's right out of our detective vocabulary. And this is the core connection the source material is making. Look at the parallel. On one side, inference uses clues we can see to understand truths we can't see. On the other side, faith is defined here as being the evidence for things that are themselves unseen. The lesson presents these two as having a very similar structure. And that brings us to the lesson's main idea, that both inference and faith are tools we can use to perceive a reality that isn't immediately visible. The argument is that the same mental muscle we use to figure out a friend's mood is somehow related to how a person might perceive a spiritual truth. The lesson plan even includes this short, really powerful piece of writing to capture this whole idea of seeing the unseen. It starts with just a tiny clue, a glance. These are the little things that are never said out loud, right? The small details that hint at something much bigger, something unspoken. A pause. And finally, a tear wiped quickly. The source calls these the silent words of the heart. They're the clues to a reality that is happening just beneath what we can see on the surface. Now, you might be thinking, okay, connecting a literary skill to a deep spiritual concept, that's a bit of a leap. And to understand why the source material makes this link, we have to look at the educational philosophy that's actually driving it. So the source for this, HeroesMart Academy, is very clear that its goal is to weave education and morality together. Their view is that knowledge on its own, without a moral compass, can actually be harmful. They believe a spiritual mindset is the key to making good choices and finding peace. So, this philosophy explains why their lessons are built to connect an academic skill, like inference, directly to a spiritual principle. So when you boil it all down, it comes to this. Whether you're a detective at a crime scene or you're just living your life, inference is the tool you use to see beyond the surface. It's the skill of realizing that the visible world is so often just a collection of clues pointing to a deeper, unseen reality. And that really just leaves us with one final question for you. Now that you're thinking like a detective, what unseen truths are all the clues in your world pointing toward?